What's new? Get ready.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 35 of the Play to Win podcast. My name is Keiran, and I'm, of course, joined by my awesome, amazing, fantastic co-host, Tyler. How are you doing?
I'm well. Christmas shopping is like 85% done, which is fantastic.
Nice.
I'm making progress with that. Hopefully it'll all be done by this coming weekend, and then I won't have to worry about that for the rest of December.
Nice. My Christmas shopping is 0% done. I haven't started yet.
You better get on that.
Yeah.
Shipping times and delays and everything. Things that start being, harder to find. Hop on that ASAP.
Well, I mean, the good news is the only one thing I actually need to order. Everything else I can get from other places, but my sister's gift I have to get ASAP because I have a feeling that a lot of people will want it.
Hop on it. On it.
But this is a Play to Win podcast, a show where we break down weekly gaming news to in-depth discussion. A couple of housekeeping things. Just as a reminder, you can find timestamps in the description of this video. So if you want to jump around, you only care about one topic we're talking about, go watch that section.
Although this episode is only one topic.
Yes, this episode is only one topic. You can also check out our website, playtowingames.wordpress.com, where you will find all of our content as well as our review policy, little info about us. Go check that out. You can subscribe to us if you're watching the podcast here on YouTube. And remember to take the notification bell so you know when new videos go live. You'll be one of the first people in the world to see them. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PlayToWinGame, where you will get updates on the show, anything random we post, episode previews, stuff like that. So if you want to go and check that out, head over to Twitter and Instagram. And the only topic we have, or only main news topic, I should say, what we have for this episode is our Game Awards predictions. This is our, I guess you could say, annual Game Awards episode.
Well, annual predictions episode, and then after the Game Awards, we'll have our annual recap episode.
Yeah. And then, what did we say earlier? Next year, we will have our own Game of the Year episode.
Exactly. It'll be one of the first episodes of January. We'll talk about all that as we get to the end of this month, though.
Exactly. But with all that out of the way, we are going to run through some quick, brief mentions, but there aren't a whole lot this week. So we're going to start off with Dimensional Ink Studios, the developer behind DC Universe Online, is reportedly making a Marvel MMO, which should be interesting.
It should be interesting. Can I make a quick note on that real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
When DC Universe Online first came out, at least on consoles, man, that download took forever on my PS3, and I only played the game very briefly. But I did like the idea of it. It was cool. And back then I was like not into MMOs at all. So like I didn't like get too deep into it. But a Marvel MMO, count me in on that. Yeah. Count me in. I would be more than happy to jump in on ground floor on a Marvel MMO.
Yeah, join the server, Thanos, snap everyone, leave. Job done. Dragon Age 4's creative director has left BioWare, which is unfortunate news for the game and the studio.
Yep.
The ESA and Nintendo have both spoken out against Activision Blizzard. Good. In subsequent Activision Blizzard news, Bobby Kotick has reportedly considered stepping down if he can't fix the company's issues quickly. Don't consider, just do it.
Because the fastest way to start doing it would be to leave.
Yeah, exactly. Just be like Nike and just do it.
Thank you.
A former Sony PlayStation IT analyst is suing the company for gender discrimination, which we can add that company to the very long list of companies that are being sued for that sort of thing, which rightly they should be.
Yes, they should. And I tweeted this out on Twitter when this news broke out. At first, I was just like, Jesus Christ, like, come on now. Like, at the same time, like I said earlier this summer, assume all companies just do bad stuff until proven otherwise. And then I followed up later on, a couple hours later. I was like, just to clarify, am I like disappointed and surprised? Sure. Do I want them to like address this 100%? But I am nowhere near as angry and like upset about this as I am like the Activision Blizzard stuff. Yeah. Because this is like in no way, shape, or form anywhere near as bad as everything going on at Activision Blizzard. So like that's why you're not going to see me like grabbing the pitchforks and the torches, like down with them. Like
PS5 for sale.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be doing that, but it is something that needs to be fixed.
Yes. Chrono Cross Remake is rumored to be announced. Is that it?
Yeah, it's rumored to be
Okay.
announced. It was part of that Nvidia. It was part of either the original Nvidia leak or like a secondary one that happened sometime later.
Okay, got it.
But news about it popped up again. Like there's been rumors that like there's a big PlayStation remake to be announced the end of this year, and the rumor was that it's Chrono Cross.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, seems like an abrupt sentence, but okay.
Nope, that's it.
And Harmonix has been acquired by Epic Games. They will continue supporting their current games and working on developing, quote, musical journeys and gameplay for Fortnite, end quote, which is interesting.
It's interesting. Some people have been sad about it. I understandably sad about it. You know, Harmonix a pioneer in the like terms of like the music genre for video games and everything. But this acquisition also makes sense by Epic because you know they've been doing some live concerts and they want to bring the metaverse and everything, and just makes sense to have Harmonix kind of lead the charge on that for them, or at least help them lead the charge.
Yes. That's going to conclude our brief mentions for this week. Like I said, not a whole lot. And we are going to move on to our only news topic. That news topic being that we are going to predict who we think will win awards at the Game Awards. We want to win awards at the Game Awards. And at the end, we will have a little bit of a discussion about things we think will be announced at the Game Awards. Yes. So I have them listed here from like the order of the nominations appearing on the Game Awards website, but we're going to go in reverse order so that we're not doing Game of the Year first.
Exactly.
So we are going to start at most anticipated game, of which the nominations are Elden Ring.
Hold on real quick. We just want to clarify. We're not doing esports games at all. Like any esports announcement, esports awards, we're not doing those. We have no involvement or interest or investment in the esports community. Nope. No shade to them at all.
No, not at all.
It's just no point of us doing it in any way, shape, or form. Same with content creator of the year. We're not gonna we're not gonna guess who's gonna win. I just have a point to make about it when we get to it. But just want to lay that all out on the table right now. That way people are like, wait, what about the FaZe team? Don't you want them to win and stuff? Just like, we don't care. we just not doing it.
Yeah. I mean, there's only really, I'll throw this in quickly as well. The only thing that I would really care about is the esports game, of which my vote would go for League of Legends.
Understandable.
Yeah. Okay, so most anticipated game, of which the nominations are Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Starfield. I'll kick it off. I want Starfield to win. I think Elden Ring will.
You see, this is an interesting one for me because I am, of these that I'm most anticipated for, like which am I most looking forward to? The answer is undeniably God of War. Well, it's either God of War or Horizon. Like this is such a weird one to like predict what the answer is going to be, like what I want to win. Like I would like all of these to win. Like it doesn't matter to me which of these like wins most anticipated. But if I was to guess, right? If I was to guess what will win this, it's either Elden Ring or Breath of the Wild's sequel. One of those two I think will win this. And I think most likely the answer will come down to Elden Ring because we know more about that than we do Breath of the Wild sequel. Breath of the Wild would win this solely off of the name alone. Like solely off of its name is the only reason Breath of the Wild would win. We know basically nothing about the game though. God of War, we've seen gameplay, we know story. Same with Horizon. Starfield, we know even less than Breath of the Wild sequel about. So like, I don't think that if that won, it would also be name alone. Elden Ring, we have a date. We have seen lots of gameplay. We know bits about the story. Like it is a from game. It is coming out in 2 months.
Yeah.
I think Elden Ring wins. So I'm gonna vote for Elden Ring. Just because I think it's gonna win anyway, and I think this award is kind of like a weird category. My personal most anticipated though, it's between God of War and Horizon. I think I'm anticipating God of War so much more because the first game was just like a bona fide masterpiece. But I think my excitement for Horizon's a bit higher just because it's so much closer. Okay, so Horizon is the one you're going for. No, I voted Elden Ring as what I think will win. What I want to win, though, I mean, what I want to win. Let's say it's let's say God of War. I want God of War to win most anticipated. Even though like I myself are personally anticipating Horizon more, if that makes sense. It's just that God of War, like there's so much there. I want that game so bad.
So I'm organizing the doc. Yeah, I actually changed my answer. I want to win is God of War, because saying and think about it, and the point you just made, we know more. Technically, we know more about God of War than we do about Starfield, and I genuinely enjoyed the first God of War so much that I'm very anticipated for the second one. And because Starfield is Bethesda's first new IP in 25 years, not that I don't think it's going to be good, I just don't know how much I'm going to enjoy it. Whereas having played the previous God of War, I know I'm going to enjoy that more.
Hold on. God of War here for both of us. That should be W, because that's what we want to win. The one that we think will win for sure is our T. And we both think Elden Ring will win. There we go. We're just fixing stuff in the doc.
There we go. Okay. So we are going. Anything else you have to add for best anticipated game?
Nope, not at all. We can move right on over to best debut indie.
Yes, best debut indie, of which the nominations are The Artful Escape, The Forgotten City, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Sable, and Valheim. You want to head this one?
So this is an interesting one because of these games on this list, I've only played one, and I want to play two of them on this. I want to play two of the other games on this list, maybe a third. I want to play Artful Escape. I have it in my library. It's on my console. I've yet to get around to it. I think I'll get to it before the end of the year though, because I want to have that as like a game of the year consideration, maybe.
Yeah.
Sable, I want to play. I don't know if I'll get around to it though. Forgotten City, I have it in my library. I don't have it on my console though. This game, I have heard a lot of great things about though. I have heard a whole lot of great things about Forgotten City and how it's a lot of people's like up there as like a game of the year contender for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think Forgotten City has a very good chance of like winning this. Valheim, I remember it came out earlier this year, and I remember there was a conversation around it, but I don't really remember what that conversation was and what people's thoughts on Valheim was when it first came out. Kena, though, that's the only one I've played on this list. And if you've seen my review, I really liked that game. I thought it was a really great game. Sure, there are some issues with it. The difficulty spikes like crazy during boss fights for sure. But I think it was like a really solid, great start. Great first game from Ember Lab and potential like start of a promising franchise from them. Honestly, I would love to see more of that game. So I want Kena to win. Okay, because that's the only one I actually have investment in. I want it to win. Do I think it will though? All right, so I'm gonna vote Kena right now because I want it to win. But I'm torn between. That's the thing. I think of the ones that can win this, it's between Kena, Forgotten City, and Artful Escape, in my opinion. Just because those are the ones that I could like kind of see the conversation around more so than the others. In my head. What are you thinking will win right now?
Well, my answer for both want and think will is the same, and it's Kena Bridge of Spirits. I have played none of these games. I want to point out. I don't really. 3 of these games I don't really have any interest in playing. Kena, I'm 100% picking up when I'm getting a PS5, which should hopefully be in the next, I'll say 2 months. Only other game that I have any remote interest in playing is Sable. The game looks like a lot of fun. I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet because, as me and Tyler were talking about before we started, I have no time. So the only one I have any like significant active interest in is Kena. So my answer for both want and win is Kena.
I want it to win. Okay. So here's my thinking. I think Kena can win on the level of this game had a lot of power behind it going, and like after it was first announced, a lot of hype going into it into release, and people were genuinely surprised when it came out. They were like, wow, actually, yes, the game, it's pretty simple in terms of like its gameplay. It's not too deep. It harkens back a lot to like PlayStation 2 action platformers from that generation and all. Yes, it does. But there's actually there's a pretty like emotion. There's a lot of emotional depth behind this story.
Mhm.
It's not all this like basic cookie cutter stuff. The gameplay, it's simple. It's not too deep, but there's enough depth there to like make it interesting and keep things fun and exciting the entire time. And again, like there's potential for that world to be expanded upon. And even if they don't, Ember Lab shows promise in terms of like their game creation, capabilities and everything.
Yeah.
The Forgotten City, again, I have not played it, but I keep seeing people just talk about how the game design behind it, in terms of like the time loop aspect of it, and the story and the mystery and the puzzles, everything all like comes together so well to make a really, really well crafted game. And I think that has a lot of cause for it to really be also win best debut indie. Artful Escape, I saw a lot of people say they liked it. I don't know really too much more than that. But Forgotten City, that is one I keep seeing a lot of people talk about in terms of like game of the year contender. But it's also like an under the radar type one too.
Yeah.
Where people see people talking about it, but they don't really know like how good it is until they actually play. They're like, oh, wait a minute, actually, this actually is a really great game. People should play this. A lot of people aren't talking about it. People should play it. So I'm torn between Kena and Forgotten City on who I think will actually win this. I'm gonna go Kena. I'm gonna say I think Kena wins it solely because Forgotten City, although people have championed it, I don't think the amount of people championing it has led to a lot of people actually playing it in terms of who's actually voting on the awards. Yeah. And Kena, I would say a lot more people play Kena than Forgotten City.
Okay, so we both think that Kena will win, and we both want Kena to win.
Yes.
Now, we're going to move on to Content Creator of the Year. Like Tyler said, we don't have a huge amount to say about this, but Tyler said he had something he wanted to say about it.
Yeah, so, and I've seen a lot of other people on Twitter mention this too. Content Creator of the Year, every year it's only streamers. It's never like actually content creators outside of streamers.
Yeah.
Like it's never like there's a channel I watch on occasion. I'm subscribed to on YouTube, Game Developers Toolkit, where like he posts videos. It doesn't post videos very frequently, but like maybe like once a month or so, where it's talking about like philosophies behind game design. And like he did a series about like the design behind the dungeons in each of the mainline Zelda games and the design behind each of the mainline Metroid games, and just also other things in terms of like how games are designed and so on and so forth. Great content over there. Never nominated.
Yeah.
Digital Foundry and their videos that they do, never nominated at all. Like you would, and like, I mean, you could even extend this to people over at like, say for example, like Kind of Funny, right? Yeah. Yeah, they're like a bigger thing, but if you want to like bring hone it on into like Blessing over there at Kind of Funny, he had the Blessing show that he started this year, and I didn't really watch any of the episodes, but I kept hearing like, yo, this is a great show, people got to watch this and everything. Never got around to it myself, but I do want to. So it's just interesting seeing that, like, you know, it's Content Creator of the Year is never, it's only literally every year it's only streamers. It's not like people that make content outside of streaming. So I think that if you want to do this and you want to like give recognition to streamers, maybe do a streamer of the year, and then a separate content creator of the year one, because content creation goes past just streaming. Because every year we get this content creator of the year category. It's like, who are these people? Like I only know of Dream, and I only know of Dream because like Video Game Donkey made videos about Dream, and like there was like a possible like Minecraft speedrun controversy with him cheating and stuff. I know no one else here.
Yeah, I don't know anyone here either. I do have, first of all, your point is entirely valid. The point I'm going to make doesn't negate your point, but Alana Pierce was nominated last year, and she is a content creator who is outside of streaming. But
Forgot about that.
that's
That's an
one.
exception.
Yeah,
That's like
exactly.
exception, not the rule.
That's not the rule. Every other nomination every other year is always a streamer. So your point is still 100% valid. Just wanted to point that out.
And like that's not to say that some of these streamers in the content creator of the year category like don't also make other content.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Alana, she streams a lot, but she also makes content outside of the streaming.
Yeah.
Whereas like, you know, like when you see it's content creator of the year, literally you're like streamer.
Yeah.
It's like, let's do something different. That's all I want to say about that.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna give a vote as to who I want to win because I've never heard of any of those people.
I'm not voting for it at all. So we just want to move on. Quick point to make.
And we're going to move on to Best Multiplayer, of which the nominations are Back 4 Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim. I'll head up this one. The only ones I've played are Back 4 Blood, which I've played maybe 4 or 5 hours, and Knockout City, which I've played 1 game. So I'm going to vote for Back 4 Blood as what I want to win, just because it's one I have most experience with. What I think will win is either Valheim or New World. Or maybe I'll include Monster Hunter Rise in that, but maybe.
Okay.
I've seen, going back to what you said kind of earlier, I remember seeing a lot of good things about Valheim, and I remember it being very popular when it came out for the first like month or two. So I think that might have some credit as to winning Best Multiplayer, but I have also seen a lot of people saying New World is great. They can't stop playing it. You've had people like racking up hours and hours on that game kind of soon after it came out. So, I mean, I think it's between those two for what I think will win. But because I've played Back 4 Blood the most, and I actually quite enjoy that game, I'm going to say I want Back 4 Blood to win.
Okay. Now you see, I think New World does not win this. I think if New World wins anything, maybe it'll be best ongoing game. And I'll explain why. I personally want Knockout City to win. I mean, of course, it's the only one of these here that I have played. But that being said, Knockout City is a fantastic multiplayer game. I've been championing that game since the beta, before the game actually came out. I was like, yo, this game is actually genuinely a lot of fun. It's a surprise how fun this game is, how addicting this game is. And it really is. It deserves all the praise in the world. Like, I can jump on that game now, and yes, it'll be sweaty as all can be, as all get out. But even still, I'll play a match. I'll be like, let me do another match and another match and another match and another match. Just because it's that much fun. It's so much fun on a casual level, on a competitive level. You could be anywhere in between and you'll have a great time. So that's why I want it to win. Back 4 Blood, I'm sure it was great and everything. I just never played it. Same for Monster Hunter Rise. I heard a lot of praise about that game. I just never played it. Here's what I want to win this though. No, I'm sorry. I want Knockout City to win. Here's what I think has the best shot of winning this one though. And I think It Takes Two. It Takes Two. It's a co-op only game, so it's multiplayer by default. That game, when it came out, was automatically on many Game of the Year lists as soon as it came out. And the one thing I remember seeing a lot of people say after it came out was that the level design and game design was really well done, and that the multiplayer aspect of things, the co-op aspect of things, it was like you and your partner really had to work together to get things done. And like you'd be doing one thing while your partner did another thing, and like everything was on, like it was all split screen, but like just the way the multiplayer worked in that game, it was, I mean, obviously it's inherent to the game's design and the story and everything, but it wasn't just like it wasn't like a cheat thing where like it's inherent to the game design, but it sucks. Like it actually was done very, very well and worked so well in regards to the game's story and all. So that's why I think It Takes Two wins best multiplayer. I think it does. And if it doesn't win this, it's 100% winning other awards because they might want to give recognition to another game. Yeah. And if they don't give it to this, then it will probably be Monster Hunter Rise that gets best multiplayer, I think. But I'm going to say I think It Takes Two wins this.
Okay. And those are our predictions for best multiplayer. Moving on to best sports/racing nominations are F1 2021, FIFA 2022, Forza Horizon 5, Hot Wheels Unleashed, and Riders Republic. I'll let you.
And this could be a 5-second one. I already placed my bet, and I'm moving on to the next one. It's Forza that I want, and Forza's going to win this. We can move on.
I agree.
Because I mean, that is no shade to the other sports games. And that's no shade to especially the Hot Wheels Unleashed. I heard a lot of great things about Hot Wheels. That was like surprisingly great. Like they got a 9 from IGN. I was like, whoa. No shade at all. Forza has just immediately, like as soon as it came out, it was just like 10 game of the year nominee. That is winning that category. Sorry to the others. That's also the only one I've played. But outside of that, I just know what's going to win that. So moving 100%. on. Best sim strategy is the next category.
Yes, best sim strategy is the next category, of which the nominations are Age of Empires 4, Evil Genius 2 World Domination, Humankind, Inscription, and Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'll chuck it over to you.
Did Flight Sim come out this year or last year? It came to console this year. Did it come out in period this year, or was it last year?
Last year.
Okay. Because I was gonna, if it wasn't for that, I was gonna. Well, when did it come out last year? Actually, did it come out after mid-November of last year?
No, I think I'll check that. I think it was August.
That's what I thought. I thought it was way early. I thought it was before that. I thought it was like an August, September type game for Flight Sim.
Sim release date 17th of August 2020.
Yeah, for PC, and then it came to console this year. So it would have been the not running for nominations last year. So because of that, I don't know if it wins it. Honestly, I don't know if Microsoft Flight Sim gets it. I think it'll go to either Age of Empires or Inscription. Inscription just recently blew up, actually, like the past few weeks. I haven't played it, but a lot of people were saying, yo, this game is amazing. This game's great. It's really cool. It's fantastic game of the year, like nominee and stuff. I have no horse in this race, to be honest. What do I think will win? I think it's between Age of Empires and Inscription. I'm going to put Age of Empires 4 just because that's the only one I really know much about. Flight Sim would have gotten it, I think, if it actually came out this year. Like the console version did, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to warrant it getting the award 2 years in a row. So
sorry, what were your choices?
I'm just gonna. I think Age of Empires wins this. I don't have a want to win this, honestly, because I haven't played any of these. The sim strategy genre is not my genre or my wheelhouse, so I just think Age of Empires will win this.
I am of the same opinion. I haven't played any of them. I'm not really a strategy sim person. The only game that if it appeared here, I would 100% vote for Civilization. But yeah, haven't played any of them. I don't really have any interest in playing them. I've played like 20 minutes of Flight Sim, so there's that. But no, I think Age of Empires is going to win. I don't really have a want to win.
Yeah.
Give me a second while I update the doc. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
We are now
take your time. I'm looking at the next category. It's an interesting one.
Yeah. Next category is Best Family, of which the nominations are It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstars, New Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and WarioWare Get It Together. I have no interest in playing any of these games. So I'm just going to say Mario Party Superstars is going to win.
See, now this is an interesting one because I'm going to vote It Takes Two because I want it to win. But it's such an interesting category because although I also think it's funny, best family game, all Nintendo options, except for It Takes Two. It's an interesting one for me because I honestly think that, like, again, I have yet to play It Takes Two, but I remember the reception around it and the conversation that keeps on going with this game about how it's like honestly one of the best games of the year, so on and so forth, and the story that it has and the gameplay and everything. And I think it's the clear option of like, well, this is just the best game of the ones here. Because like when you think best family games, like, all right, like what does best family game mean? It's like, is this like the best party game, the best game to play with others, like others in a more casual way, like younger people, like younger, like children and those who aren't really gamers in a sense. Like, what is the best game here for that? And I think like It Takes Two can still get that, and I think that's the clear front runner of like winning this just from a quality perspective. So that's what I want to win. That's why I voted for it. Do I think it wins though? That's a completely different discussion. Like if it doesn't win, then maybe it's Mario Party, or maybe it's Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. One of those two. I don't think it's WarioWare. I don't think it's new Pokemon Snap. I was about to cough, but it didn't come out. It did that time. I do think though that the winner is I want It Takes Two to win this. Do I think it wins it though? Do I think it does? I'm going to say this is a tough one. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. I want It Takes Two to win. I'm also going to say that, now I'm torn between that and Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury. Because 3D World, Bowser's Fury, 3D World portion is 4-player, Bowser's Fury is 2-player, and super casual game. And I'm going to say I think Mario 3D World wins this. I think it wins, but I want It Takes Two to win. Just because, again, Super Mario 3D World, it's far more casual than It Takes Two. It's easy one, like, 4 of us hop on, let's just run around with our cat suits and everything like that. It Takes Two, not saying it's not a good game or anything, or not as casual as a Mario game, but I think just like or can't be as casual as a Mario game, I should say. But Mario 3D World, I think, is just far more of a casual, hey, fam's over here, let's just all hop on some Mario and play that and everything. It's less of an investment than It Takes Two, I think.
Yeah. Unless you have anything else, I'm just going to move on to best fighting.
I don't have anything else to say, so we can move on to best fighting.
Best fighting game nominations are Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles. Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood Type Lumina. Yep. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl and Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. I'll kick this off because I have nothing to say about this, but I think Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl will win, but I've played none of them.
No.
I don't really have any interest.
I'm telling you now, the answer is no. The answer is Guilty Gear Strive. I haven't played any of them because I'm not really a fighting game person, at least in this regard, but I'm voting Guilty Gear. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl has like mechanics that are great from what I know of, but like outside of that, the game is like kind of like lackluster in terms of like authenticity for like Nickelodeon characters and everything like that.
Yeah.
Guilty Gear Strive is like the fighting game this year that everyone has been looking forward to and has been playing since it came out, as from what I know. Melty Blood, I have heard of a bit, but I don't know too much about it. Demon Slayer, I feel like was just like, we're putting it in here because it's a fighting game that came out. Yeah. Just like when One Punch Man was nominated, or Jump Force. It's like, it's a fighting game, we need to fill up the nominations, so throw it in there.
Yeah.
Not saying Demon Slayer was bad. It's just like, it's not winning. It's not. Guilty Gear Strive is going to win this. I'm betting that 100% it will. If it doesn't, it has Melty Blood. I guess that's just because I guess Melty Blood was just a sleeper fighting game that I just didn't really realize was that great.
Yeah. We're going to move on to best role playing, and the nominations are weirdly Cyberpunk 2077, Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Tales of Arise.
Now here, can I just say something? I keep seeing everyone say weirdly Cyberpunk's here, and I get it, but at the same time I don't get it. When I say that, I mean what people mean when they say that.
Yeah.
Like, I get why you're saying that. You're just like, really? Cyberpunk's here with everything that happened? But at the same time, that game got a bunch of great scores because the PC version was great for the most part. Let me clarify. For the most part, the PC version was the one that was getting like the 9s and the 10s, whereas the console was not. So like, it makes sense why Cyberpunk would be here, given the PC version in mind. But at the same time, when you have the context of everything else, it's like, is it though? So I don't know if it's going to win this. Like, that's the thing, because if the PC version was as poor as the console versions, I don't think Cyberpunk would win this. But because the PC versions were actually were great again for the most part, and that's the version of the game that was getting like the 9s and the 10s, I think Cyberpunk has a shot. I think it has a shot at winning. I don't know if it does though. And this is a really interesting category because Cyberpunk aside, each of these games had a really great reception. Like Monster Hunter Rise, I know was getting pretty great scores. Scarlet Nexus surprised people, was actually like, oh wow, it's actually a really great game here, really fun game. I have it on my Xbox. I haven't gotten around to it, but I want to get to it. Honestly, I might drop Final Fantasy 13 to start Scarlet Nexus up, depending on how 13 treats me today. 13 kind of annoyed me yesterday. I'm at a point where doing some enemy encounters where they're just like, yo, I might have to put you on pause and come back to you at a later date. Shin Megami Tensei 5, I mean, that's been getting great scores as well. Tales of Arise was also another one where I think even more so than Scarlet Nexus surprised people with how good it was.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, yo, like this is a major step up for the Tales series. This is like a GOTY contender right here. This is a tough category, actually, especially given that I've only played one of them and I've played 1.5 of them and I just have seen the reception surrounding all of them.
I'm going to go a bit crazy.
You want Cyberpunk to win.
I want Cyberpunk to win.
And you think it will?
I don't think it will. I want it to. Because I don't think people are going to vote. I mean, not that the people's vote counts for 10%, so it's not like they're going to sway the vote. But
let's think about, when we say people, let's think about who's actually going to put this forward in terms of like getting things won, getting things the awards. And that's the press, the media. Those are the ones who are nominating. I mean, nominating and voting for real.
Yeah. And going off of the point that you said that, you know, the media reception to this game on PC, while not perfect, was better than anywhere else and was getting fairly decent scores, which is why I think that some people in the media might sway towards Cyberpunk. But I don't think it's going to be enough to have it win the category. I think the winner, because I haven't played anything else on this list apart from Scarlet Nexus, I played most of the demo. I'm gonna say I want Cyberpunk to win. I think Scarlet Nexus will.
All right, I'm gonna say this right now. Scarlet Nexus, as much as I enjoyed the demo, I don't think it's winning. And I'm trying to help inform your vote here for what you think will, not what you want. You want Cyberpunk to win. I don't agree, but by all means, push for it, boy. Push for it. This is a tough one for me because I played Cyberpunk and I liked it, but I don't want it to win. It's like taking all the issues, the game, like the technical issues and the controversy surrounding it out of the conversation. I thought it was just a fine game. It was simply fine, like a 7.5 at best, an 8 on a good day. And like a 6 at worst, in my opinion. I would not want it to win this. So let's think about the conversations surrounding all these other games. What I want to win and what I think will win are both the same games. I both want and think Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Tales of Arise will win. I want both of them to win, but I think both of them will win as well. And I'm not sure which one comes to the top of the top of the crop of this crew here. I'm not sure which one gets it. I will say I don't know how much Game of the Year conversation I've seen around Shin Megami Tensei. but I've seen a lot around Tales of Arise. Just like Scarlet Nexus, I didn't see any Game of the Year nominations around it or conversations around it, but I saw a lot of people liked it.
Yeah.
I don't really remember from Monster Hunter though, because that was earlier this year. So you know what? I'm gonna say I want Tales of Arise to win. I'm gonna vote Tales of Arise to win this, and I think it will though. I want it to because it should. And I'm going to hope and pray that the media was like, yeah. Well, damn, that's the thing. The PC version of Cyberpunk, though. The PC version is what would push it to win. That is the only reason that game would win best role playing.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And the people who reviewed the game, they had PC codes. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. The PC codes are what went out for reviews of that game, not console codes.
Yeah.
Console review codes came out. Actually, I don't know if they came out, period, but console reviews came out after the game did.
Yeah. And just for context, IGN gave it a 4.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the thing. I think Cyberpunk has a good shot. It has a shot, but I think people will want to have the controversy in mind surrounding that game, keeping it from winning.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it does. It's either that or Tales of Arise, I think, that wins this. It's one of those two. I want Tales to win. I'm going to say I think Tales of Arise wins this.
Okay.
I think it does.
Yeah. Do I change? No. I'm leaving Cyberpunk as my want. Because if I had
I'm not saying you need to change your want.
No,
your want is your personal one.
Yeah. Like if I had reviewed Cyberpunk, I would have given it an 8.5 or a 9. Like once I finished it. I really enjoyed it. Like, yes, there were things that
we did play on next gen consoles. That is also a good clarification too.
Good point to note. But like, I did enjoy it. I thought it was a really good story. I thought that all of the
I enjoyed
voice
the story
acting
too,
and the graphics weren't like 100%. Oh my god, they're amazing, but like they were pretty damn good. And yeah, like I really enjoyed that game, so I think I want it to win.
Yeah, like my issues with Cyberpunk is not even the story. The story I thought was great. The characters were really good. My issues with Cyberpunk come from like the technical aspects and also like the gameplay aspects. Like the gameplay is where things kind of like fall apart, kind of sort of for me. And the technical aspects kept the world from being like the world that I wanted it to be, or the world that we all thought it was going to be on console, at least. And because of all that, like I don't even know if I'll play a next gen version when it comes out, just because I'm like, do I even feel like doing that all again? Is the world and like whatever enhancements they bring to the game going to be enough to make me be like, you know what, let's pop that back in for another playthrough of a game that I thought was just fine to play?
Yeah.
Like at this point, a year later, it's actually more than a year later, because it's not coming until next year. It's just gonna be like, all right, there's too many other games I want to play.
Yeah. Well, you've got 4 or 5 years before the next gen version comes out, so I'm gonna vape real quick. Okay, we're gonna move on to best action adventure game. The nominations for this are Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Do you want to kick this off? Do you want me to go?
I'll kick this off. I got stuff to say because again, this is another tough one. I've only played one of them. That being Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I reviewed it for Play to Win. I really enjoyed this game. That was an amazing game. It's absolutely a blast to play. So I want Ratchet and Clank to win. I do. I genuinely do. I'm voting for that. Do I think it will? Again, this is another tough one.
Yeah.
Where I haven't played Village, of course, but I just based off of my playing Ratchet and Clank and the reception to the other games, Resident Evil is not winning this. If it does, I am shocked. Just like I'm shocked it's even a GOTY nominee. It now comes down to Guardians of the Galaxy, which came out and surprised everyone and has so many people saying, wow, this is actually a game of the year consideration right here for me, for a lot of people. Metroid Dread, which came out, getting 9s and really great scores across the board. And same for Psychonauts 2. A lot of great scores across the board. I'm thinking this comes down to Ratchet and Metroid for best action adventure. That's what I'm thinking. And I think I want Ratchet to win. Between the two of them, it's like, okay, which one did it better, I guess. Because both Ratchet and Metroid, they both stay true to what those series are, what they were back in the day, in terms of like Ratchet stays true to what it was back in the day. Metroid Dread stays true to 2D Metroid games from back in the day. The first new 2D Metroid game in 19 years. I think 19 is the correct number. 19 or 14 or so. It's been a while. It's been a long time since it was a new 2D Metroid game. I believe the number is 19 though. So, but they also like do new things as well, whether it be with Rift Apart, you have the Rift mechanic, you have the 2 different characters. And then the story is also like really great there. Metroid Dread, I haven't played it yet, but you have the Emmys, and there's some other like gameplay things that they got going on there that make it like really stand out and stuff. So, which do I think wins this? I'm torn. What do you think is going to go on with this category here? Let me think about this.
I am also torn because I think that every one of these games has a shot of winning.
I think everyone except for Village does. Honestly, that is no shade to Village. I know Village was a great game. I know a lot of people liked it. When you look at the competition, I do not think Village has a chance to beat any of these other games that is up here for at best action adventure. Yeah. I just don't. I'm sorry.
Well, I'll point out that Village is the only one of these I've played.
Mm-hmm.
And though no one has read or seen my review except Tyler, I gave the game an 8. I really enjoyed that game far more than I thought I would, because I'm not a horror person at the best of times, but I'm also not really a person who enjoys games where you have to like really watch your ammo reserves and your health packs and stuff like that. I typically don't enjoy those games. I really enjoyed Village. So Village is probably my want to win, just because it's the only one of these I've played, and I don't have a valid opinion on any of the rest of them. But in terms of what I think will win, I am convinced that it's Rift Apart.
You're convinced? Okay, why are you convinced it's Rift Apart?
The reception to that game was phenomenal. Ratchet and Clank has one of the longest histories, and it's a Sony IP. Like, those typically do very well at the Game Awards. So if I had
Nintendo ones do too, though.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild was a Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. They were both doing well.
But are they on the same level as Metroid Dread?
Are both of those on the same levels? You mean, is Metroid on that level? On their
sorry.
Level?
Is Metroid on that level? Because I don't think it is. I haven't played it, so don't take my opinion on that take it with a huge grain of salt. But yes, I'm sure Metroid is a great game. I don't think it's on the level of Odyssey or Breath of the Wild.
I'm not saying that it's on those games levels. But this game, from the reception I saw, and I do want this game, I do plan to get it, and I will hopefully have played it by the time we do our Game of the Years for Play to Win. That and Guardians of the Galaxy, both of them I plan to play before we do our Game of the Year. But Dread, the reception around it was definitely that of 2D Metroid is back. This is 2D Metroid from back in the day, modernized, updated, refined in all the best ways possible. This is Mercury Steam showing that they can make a 2D Metroid game. And although like the last one they did was Samus Returns, which is basically a remake of Metroid 2. Metroid Dread is a new game. It's a new game, but it's technically not, because it's an idea. It's a game that was around like over a decade ago, but the game just never got made. It never came out. And Mercury Steam has brought the game back and completed the game. So while it's not a completely new one of their own, you can kind of say like they they did their own 2D Metroid game here.
Yeah.
And to fantastic results. And this is the game that proved to many people like, hey, like Metroid is back. Metroid is very successful. It can be very successful in the modern day. And Mercury Steam needs to do more 2D Metroid games. Like they should be the ones in charge of 2D Metroid games from here on in. And whereas Rift Apart, I loved it. I really did. And like the weapons were great, the story was great, the Rift mechanic was cool. You could also argue that it was just more Ratchet and Clank. That it didn't really do too much new or different. It, not saying that it's a bad thing. Like Ratchet and Clank has an established formula and a feel to it that you don't need to really mess with too much to make a great game. And Rift Apart definitely refined things and made things really good. But because you could see it as just more Ratchet and Clank, I see Metroid edging it out. So I think Metroid wins this. But I want Rift Apart to win.
Okay. We're going to move on to Best Action Game, which the nominations are Back 4 Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, and Returnal.
You start this off.
I want Far Cry 6 to win. I've played Far Cry 6 and Back 4 Blood, and Far Cry 6 is an infinitely better game in my opinion than Back 4 Blood is. Not that I don't like. I mean, I said before, I did enjoy Back 4 Blood. I enjoyed Far Cry 6 a whole lot more, or at least I will have when I get around to finishing it. So Far Cry 6 is my want to win. I think Returnal will.
Okay. Interesting. I love your faith in Returnal because I want it to win, but Deathloop is going to win this. Deathloop just is going to win this. It's not even an argument. It's not even a question about it. I will be shocked if Returnal wins this. Like, I don't think Back 4 Blood wins. I don't think Chivalry wins. I do not think Far Cry 6 wins. The reception around Far Cry 6 was tended to be like some people were saying it's a great game, but then you had a lot of people saying it's just more Far Cry, which they were saying it in like a negative type of way. I think of the games on this list, Returnal and Deathloop have the best chance of winning Best Action Game. And I would prefer Returnal. I love Returnal so much more than Deathloop. Not to say Deathloop wasn't great, but again, I've already laid out my issues with it. Yeah. The story kind of falls flat at the end. And the game, it can be very easy, very fast. It gets very easy, very fast. And that could kind of lead to things either being boring or fun for you. Depends on how you look at things. But Returnal, that game, it was just exciting the entire time, all the way through. It was constantly a challenge, no matter what. But Deathloop was getting all types of praise. That game has been considered like a masterpiece from like many different outlets and stuff. People praising the story, the gameplay, the level design, just all the different things you can do in the game in terms of like abilities and plans and stuff like that. I think Deathloop wins this. I'm like so certain Deathloop is going to win this. I will be shocked if it doesn't.
Okay. Moving on, we're skipping that one. Moving on to innovation and accessibility.
You did. Hold on. We didn't put my thing in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, no, you did. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's down below. I thought it was gonna be right next to the dash, but it's down below the dash. My mistake.
Yeah, so innovation and accessibility nominations are Far Cry 6, Forza Horizon 5, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and The Veil Shadow of the Crown. I don't really have an opinion in this category just because I have not paid enough attention to any of the accessibility options in these games.
I'm gonna say it's Forza. I think it would come down to either Forza or Ratchet and Clank. I know there was a lot of talk about the accessibility surrounding both of those games. I think it just comes down to Forza, though. I think I heard a lot more conversations surrounding Forza's accessibility and all. And I think I even saw Playground, they posted a video on Twitter a couple of days ago of someone playing the game. And they were like, I think they were like using their knees to drive. and
Okay.
just like that's amazing. That's perfect. So I think Forza wins innovation and accessibility.
Moving on.
Also, real quick,
Oh,
I just want to also clarify: we skipped over best VR AR game because
yeah.
similar to the esports ones, not that we don't have interest in them, we just have basically no like we have no leg to stand on in
Yeah.
that category in terms of like an opinion on it. We like yes, we know of some of those games, but like we don't know enough about like any of them or the reception to like even make an informed guess. So that's why we're skipping over best
Yeah.
VR AR. No shade to it.
No,
We do
not at
care
all.
about it.
Yes, we are moving straight on to best community support. I'll read the kind of description of this one just for people who don't know. This award is for recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates/patches. Nominations are Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky.
Where's the description of it again? I just clicked the little thingy here next to.
Just under best community support.
Okay.
Under where the title is.
Because it's not there for me. That's why I was wondering.
I can read it again if you want.
Yeah, read it one more time. I want to hear that again.
Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates/patches.
Okay. I want 14 to win this.
Okay.
I want 14 to win this. I think it will win this. 14 has had a banner year in terms of just not just like the game itself, but just like just the way the community has rallied around that game in the past year has been amazing to watch. As like literally an outsider, I have not played 14 at all. I've thought about it in the past, but this year more than ever, I'm like, man, I want to jump to 14 because that community over there and the community that they have fostered it's simply wonderful to see from the outside looking in. And I know they do like occasionally they'll do like the letter from the developers and stuff or the director.
Yeah.
And like the director will be on camera, just like do a live stream go on for hours. It's like, all right, this is coming to the game. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be there, and that, so on and so forth. I think 14 wins this. It's very possible that any of the games wins this, honestly, and I wouldn't be mad at any of them. I think 14 wins this. I want 14 to win this too, though.
My want and think will are both Destiny 2. Not for any like huge particular reason. It's just the one I have the most experience with. It's the one I keep the most up to date with. Bungie are always, not always, but are most of the time quite forward and transparent with their audience. And I think part of this also is their, like we've talked about it last week as well, very briefly, but their attitude towards inclusion and diversity. So I think Destiny 2 and Bungie will win this, and I want them to.
Okay. Not one that we have too much investment in.
Yeah.
But it's always good to see these, I think.
Yeah. Another category that we don't really have much investment in is best mobile game. The nominations are Fantasian, I was going to say Genshin Impact,
wow,
League of Legends Wild Rift, Marvel Future Revolution, and Pokemon Unite.
What's Genshin Impact? Genshin Impact, what is that? Just like the Deus Ex mobile game where you play as Adam Jensen going around impacting things?
No, he never asked for that.
Him and all the other Deus Ex fans who want an actual game in the future.
Yep. My vote is for League of Legends Wild Rift because it is the only one I have played and it is pretty good.
You know what? I was gonna vote for Genshin just because, like, hey, it's Genshin. Why not? I'm gonna vote for Fantasian. I have not played it. I have seen footage of it. This game, if I'm correct, is made by Hironobu Sakaguchi. I might be wrong on that. It's made by like one of the people who had to do with like the original Final Fantasy series and like the older Final Fantasy games. And the game, the world in the game, it's literally made of dioramas. Like the world is made out of actual dioramas that are then photographed. and then the characters are walking around in this diorama that was made for this area in the game. It is genuinely gorgeous, and it is a crime that this game is trapped to mobile. I would love to play this on my Switch or anywhere else. So I'm gonna vote Fantasian. I want that to win. Do I think it wins? I don't know who I think wins this one. I just want Fantasia to win.
Okay. Moving on very swiftly from Best Mobile Game to Best Indie, of which the nominations are 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Inscription, Kena Bridge of Spirits, and Loop Hero. I want Death's Door to win, and I think it will.
That's a good vote right there. Real quick, when we were on Best Family Game, I was gonna mention something I forgot to, but one of the games in this category, I saw people making jokes. They were like, why is this game not in the Best Family category? Wink, wink. I'm not gonna say which one it is, because if I say which one it is, it then spoils the game. And because I saw the jokes, I know like spoiler, so I'm not gonna say. But if you know what it is, then you know what I mean, and you know why it's funny. Oh man, but and it's funny. People were like, "Why is this game even here? It shouldn't be here." For Best Indie at all, or this nominated period. But what do I think wins Best Indie? I think it comes down to, it's tough. It's not 12 Minutes. It's not Kena Bridge of Spirits. I would love for it to be Kena Bridge of Spirits. Yeah, I would love for it to be Kena. I'm not putting my vote on that though for win. I would love for it to be that. I just don't think it will be, simply because of the reception to Loop Hero, Death's Door, and Inscription. Loop Hero, I saw a lot of people talk about it earlier this year as a really great game. Inscription, I've seen a lot of people recently talking about how awesome this game is. Death's Door, when that came out, that people were saying that immediately is a GOTY nominee, one of the best games of the year, so on and so forth. Honestly, because of that, I think Death's Door wins this. And I want to play Death's Door too. It just came to PS5 earlier this week. I just haven't gotten it yet. But you know what? I want Death's Door to win it too. I think, from what I've seen of it, what I've heard of it, I think it 100% deserves to win, and I would like it to win. Would I also love Kena to win too? Yes, I would love it to. But just like being objective here, I don't think I want it to win more than Death's Door.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to Best Ongoing. The nominations are Apex Legends, Final Fantasy XIV Online, Fortnite, Genshin Impact, or Jensen Impact, depending on your pronunciation, and Call of Duty Warzone. Only one of these I have any investment in is Apex Legends, so that is my want. I think Genshin will win.
Is this the? I'm trying to remember. Is this the category? It probably is its category. But like Fortnite wins this every year, right?
Probably, yeah. I think so.
I think Fortnite won this last year and the year before, and it's like, is this kind of just like the best Fortnite award goes to Fortnite, or Fortnite? Like, and it's not, that is no shade to Fortnite. Fortnite does amazing, incredible things in its game every single year. Like boundary industry pushing things each year. And I mean, it's about to again. We forgot to put this in the brief mentions, but the final season for Chapter 2 of Fortnite is ending on December 4th. The event, it's a one-time thing, 4 p.m. Eastern time is when it's happening on December 4th. That is a Saturday. And I mean, the last time that a chapter ended in Fortnite, the game went offline for like 2-3 days, and then came back with a brand new map and all. And who knows what's going to happen this time? Honestly, like who knows what's going to happen? But they had the Ariana Grande event happen this year. They had this year was kind of awesome when they were still kind of had like the season of Hunters happening. So you had all the different IPs coming into the game. You had Aloy, got Kratos, Master Chief joined the game. You just got Naruto and Team 7 from Naruto Shippuden added to Fortnite, which I am kind of ashamed to say, but also not ashamed to say that they 100% got like $45 out of me because I jumped on there. I bought the whole team. I bought the emotes, and I'm like, yeah, and I'll play you when I feel like it. And I just
Believe it.
it was one night right before I went to bed. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. That's still, let me get them real quick before they're out of the store. Bought them all, said, cool, turn off.
Yeah.
Turn off. I won't play you again for a bit, but you're there when I want to. But jokes aside, I want 14 to win this. Like, again, no shade to Fortnite. Fortnite does amazing things, but it wins every year. We all know how amazing it is for ongoing games. Other games need the spotlight and the shine and stuff. And 14 100% deserves it. That game has just been trucking along. And it, again, no one can understate the redemption story Final Fantasy 14 did, from its terrible launch to where it is now as like one of the best games, one of the best MMOs out there, that many people say. One of the best Final Fantasy games out there from players who have played it. It's just an incredible story, and I think it 100% deserves to be recognized for best ongoing game.
But you think Fortnite will win?
Probably. Because
I will say last year, No Man's Sky won.
It won best ongoing?
Yep.
Ooh, lovely. So then Fortnite got something last year. I thought it got some award last year.
Game of the year.
Dear God. You know what? In that case, give it to 14. I think 14 gets best ongoing game. I forgot Fortnite didn't win. I thought it did. I don't want Fortnite to win. Again, not a shade to it. I just want other games to get spotlight like that. We know Fortnite's amazing.
So hang on, what do you want to win? So
14. I want it and think it will.
Okay. Yeah, Fortnite won the year before.
Yeah, there we go. I knew something.
Yeah. We are going to move on to Games for Impact, which I'll read the description for this one as well. Is for a thought-provoking game with pro-social meaning or message. Nominations are Before Your Eyes, Boyfriend Dungeon, Chicory: A Colorful Tale, Life is Strange: True Colors, and No Longer Home. I have played none of these games. I don't really have an interest in playing any of them, so I don't really have a vote for this category.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say about this category. This is a tough one for me.
Really?
All right, personally, here's what I'm going to say. I want Life is Strange to win. Okay, that's the only one I've played on this list. I loved that game, start to finish. Absolutely adored it. I want Life is Strange to win. Do I think it will, though? That is a different question. Boyfriend Dungeon, I didn't play it. I was interested in playing it, didn't get around to it. I don't know if it'll win this, though. No Longer Home. I think I remember that game from one of the showcases earlier in the summer. I forgot it came out. I don't know really the reception behind it, though. The two that I think have the best chance at winning this are Before Your Eyes and Chicory: A Colorful Tale. Before Your Eyes is a game where you play it with a webcam, right? And when you're basically playing through your life, essentially, through your character's life. And every time you blink, the scene changes. So something could be happening in a scene, and it's like you don't want to blink because you want to see the scene play out, but you do have to blink eventually. And I think I don't know if every scene in the game is like that, or if only certain scenes in the game are like that, where like you blink it, it'll change. But that's kind of what that game is about. And I saw a lot of people saying that it was a really great game, really interesting, really intriguing. The concept was really cool and stuff. And the message behind it was great. I forgot what the message was. But once I first heard about the game, like the scene changes when you blink, I was like, interesting. So I think that has a chance. Chicory: A Colorful Tale is a game I've actually been interested in from the moment it released. This is also a game where I've seen a lot of people talk about, one, it being a GOTY nominee for them from like the moment it released, but two, also just the message behind it about, I guess the messages it has just about life and pressures put on you and so on and so forth. And I think more people have played Chicory than Before Your Eyes. Between those two, right? Of the games on this list, the games that I imagine most people that would be nominating played or voting played from the press would be Life is Strange and Chicory. So I think it comes down to those two for real. I'm gonna think Chicory wins it, though. That's what I'm gonna think. I think Chicory gets the win on this.
You know a game that I think should have been nominated in this category but isn't, and I think would have had a shot of winning if it was?
What's that?
Moonglow Bay. I've played 2 hours of Moonglow Bay, so I'm haven't finished it, haven't played a lot of it, but that game deals a lot with loss and depression and trying to work through that and finding something that will get you through it. So I think Moonglow Bay should have been nominated for this game because the 2 hours I have played of it have been really good. I've really enjoyed it.
Okay, interesting. Man, that just reminds me. It was like just a story behind Life is Strange. True Colors, just working through the death of your brother and trying to solve that mystery. And oh man, that was a great game. Loved it.
Okay, we are gonna move on to a category that I am very torn on, which is best performance. The nominations are Erica Mori as Alex Chen, Giancarlo Esposito from as Anton Castillo in Far Cry 5, Jason Kelly as Colt Van in Deathloop, Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil Village, and Uzioma. So I'm so sorry I pronounced that wrong. Akaga as Juliana Blake in Deathloop. I should also point out that Erica Mori is Alex Chen in Life is Strange $2. I am so torn between Giancarlo Esposito and Maggie Robertson.
Okay. So I think this is a tough category. Especially speaking as someone who's only played 2 of the games, but has experienced 3 of the voice actors here. And I mean, although I've only played 2 of these games, I've heard the voices of of Anton Castillo in some scenes from Far Cry 6.
Yeah.
And Lady Dimitrescu in some scenes in Resident Evil Village.
Yeah.
Of course, didn't play the game. Of course, Lady Dimitrescu is not even in the entire game, so I wouldn't even have to have played much of it to have heard a lot of her lines. But so I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on her performance, or at least enough of a grasp to have like thoughts, I guess you could say. This is a bit of a tough one. I personally, oh man, because I'm thinking about True Colors and Deathloop, and like the banter and stuff between Colt and Juliana is really good. It's really good, and they definitely put their all into those performances, and they have fun with those performances. Just their little back and forths and stuff, the little asides that Colt will make when he kills someone or anything. It's good. It's good stuff. But Erica Mori, she also just like, you could tell that she was like putting passion behind Alex Chen and putting like giving her real life and putting her all into that character, making her feel like it was really believable that like this is the girl who's had a tough life and she's just got this glimmer of hope and happiness back in it, and it's been ripped away from her, and she's trying to work through it while also finding her place in this town and in the world itself and all. It's a really great performance. Man, this is a tough one for me.
Yeah.
On who I want to win and who I think will win. Honestly. I'm going to say I want and think Erica Mori.
Okay. Let me.
Because again, that is no shade to any of the other performers here. They all did a great job. Jason Kelly and Ozzy, and sorry, I was far away from my computer. Ozioma Akaga. Again, I love their performances at Deathloop. They had a lot of fun with them. I just don't think that they are like as layered or as like or have as much depth as Erica Mori's did with Alex Chen. Giancarlo, he's Giancarlo. You can't like
yeah.
I'm sure he did a great job. He's Giancarlo. But at the same time, I could see people having that get in the way of the character for them, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like that either they'll just be seeing him as Giancarlo, not as Anton, or they'll be thinking, well, it's a movie TV show actor like doing this character. Although I don't remember who won for Death, like the year Death Stranding came out. I don't remember who won that year for best performance, because I'm sure Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen were both nominated. I'm pretty sure
Mads Mikkelsen won.
Oh, okay. So then maybe Giancarlo can win it. And then Maggie Robertson. Again, no shade to her or Lady D, but a lot of the internet's infatuation with Lady D was just the meme of it.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big portion of why she was nominated. Not to say her performance is not great. She commands your attention when she is on screen, whether she's talking directly to you or not. She commands your attention. She is a presence when she is talking and on screen.
Yeah.
And like, especially seeing like, she mocapped her and stuff. Like she commands your attention. So I mean, actually, you know what? Maggie Robertson might win this. As I said all that, I want Erica Mori to win, but I think Maggie Robertson might win it. Okay. I think she might.
Let me go and update the doc. Right, so Erica Mori won.
Because like as I explain it all like that, I'm like, you know what? Actually, I just swayed my own self.
Okay. I'm so torn because I love both Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Castillo, and I love Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu. They both put on incredible performances. I both want and think that Giancarlo is going to win.
Okay.
For a couple reasons. And I'm going to say something that is also going to be in my review, but it applies here and will very greatly justify why I think that he will win or should win.
All right.
The last Far Cry villain who put on a believable performance for me was Vaas in Far Cry 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6 exceeds that tremendously.
Okay.
I to the point where Anton Castillo is one of my favorite video game villains ever. I love his character so much, even from, because the problem I had with 4 and 5 is like, yes, the villains were okay in my opinion. Like they sufficed as villains. They weren't particularly bad. They were somewhat believable, but there is something about Giancarlo Esposito's voice and him playing Anton Castillo that just made me believe that he was a villain, made me believe that he was this tyrannical ruler who was trying to foster or trying to like guide his son into presidenthood while also trying to oppress his people. And like, even from that, do you remember the very first reveal trailer for Far Cry 6 where he hands
with
Diego
the grenade and everything?
Yeah. From that moment, I was like, this is going to be one of my favorite Far Cry 6 villains because of the performance Giancarlo Esposito put on in that trailer. So I want, and I keep trying to call him Anton Castillo. I want Giancarlo Esposito to win, and I think he will. But Maggie Robertson is such a close second because there is a lot of power and emphasis behind her performance as Lady Dimitrescu.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I was about to switch my thing to Anton for the think. But then I switched it. I stuck with my guns in my head because I think that, again, that even I have yet to play Village. So but I know she's only in it for a short amount of time. But I could imagine like people being like, even for that short amount of time that she's there, like she commands your attention.
100%.
She puts on a great performance. But Anton's there like the whole game, as far as I know. So I mean, I could easily see Giancarlo getting it. I can see him getting it. I'm gonna stick with Lady D as my think though, as Maggie Robertson, who I think will win it.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to best audio design since we have spent quite a bit talking about best performance. So our best audio design, well, the Game Awards best audio design nominations are Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal. You can kick this one off.
Forza, moving on.
I agree.
There's not like any shade or anything at all. I think of any other game on here that to be like for the running for audio design, it would probably be Rift Apart or Village. I mean, not Rift Village, Rift Apart or Returnal in terms of like contenders for winning it. Deathloop, audio's fine. I don't think it's anything to write home about. Village, I didn't play it, but the bit I did play with the demos and stuff, the audio design there is really good. But Forza, I mean, you got to get them car sounds right and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the audio in Forza Horizon 5, it is really good. It is really good. Rift Apart, the audio design, just not just the music. I mean, that's a different category itself, but just the audio design in terms of enemies, how they sound, how the different weapons sound and interact and stuff like that. It's really good and really well done there. In Returnal, the audio design there with the creatures, how they sound, how the weapons there sound, the different aspects of that just alien world, how everything there sounds. It just sounds so otherworldly and creepy and stuff. Is really good. But I think again, Forza has just kind of like run away with a bunch of awards this at the end of this year. I think Forza is going to win this.
I agree. The audio design in Forza Horizon 5 is damn near impeccable. Like both car sounds, environment sounds. I really like the radio as well because they they hired a bunch of like Mexican performers to record songs for the audio for the radio as well. So I think Forza Horizon 5 is going to win. I want Forza Horizon 5 to win. I also kind of want Village to win just because the audio in that game is pretty damn good as well. It does a very good job of setting the atmosphere, but Forza Horizon 5 will win.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to vape before we move on. Okay, we are down to our final 5 categories.
Oh, really? It's only 5 left. I didn't even realize that. I've just been looking at the website. All right, we're getting there. We're making progress.
Yes. So this category is Best Score in Music. The nominations are The Artful Escape, Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Near Replicant version.
Want me to help you with this?
No, Near Replicant version .1.2247444874139.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Cyberpunk. It's the only one I've that I want to win, just because it's the only one I've played. And I actually did think that the score and kind of music and everything in that game was one of its best qualities. So I'll say Cyberpunk, but I don't really have a think we'll win this because I don't have any experience with anything else, and I don't think compared to all these, I don't think Cyberpunk will win.
Yeah, it's tough for me. Deathloop's music is fine. Didn't really stand out that much. Because it's more in Deathloop, the music is more ambient while you're exploring, but it really kicks off and pops off when you get into fights. That's when the music really kicks in and everything. But I mean, it's fine. Nothing to really write home about. Artful Escape, I have not played it, but that game is based around music. Like music is like at its core. So I'm sure the music in it is great, but I can't really speak on it because I have yet to play that game.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is a tough one. And I saw some people say as though, like, I wonder if like Guardians of the Galaxy is a bit of a cheat being in there because a lot of the music in that game is like licensed 80s music. So it's like, I wonder how, like, I'm sure there's like actual like score behind it too and everything for that game.
Yeah.
But I wonder how much like the soundtrack is like weighing in that game's favor. Near Replicant, I have not played. I can't speak on the music for it, but I do know that Automata had really great music and people really love that score. So I wouldn't be surprised if Near Replicant also had really great music too. Cyberpunk, I did really enjoy that game's music though. The game did have some good music. The score is great. So I'll vote Cyberpunk for what I want to win. What do I think will win? I think it's between Cyberpunk and Near Replicant, to be honest, in terms of score and music. Wouldn't be surprised if either one wins it. I'll say I think Cyberpunk wins score music though.
Okay. Moving on to best art direction. Nominees are The Artful Escape, Deathloop, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. You can go ahead.
Okay, this is another interesting one because I've played 3 of these games. Okay, nice. I've played 3 of these games. But the 2 I haven't played are the ones that have like the most wild art direction. Artful Escape, like I just look at that game, I'm like, this is gorgeous. This is beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love it. The painterly looking aesthetic and everything. I love it. Psychonauts 2, I haven't played, but I just think back to like the trailer when we found out that like Jack Black was in the game and he's like like that rave, the concert and stuff. I'm just like, this is so freaking psychedelic. It looks so crazy. It looks wild. So I know Psychonauts 2 has great art direction. Deathloop, I like its 60s aesthetic that they got going on in the world and everything like that. It's nice and stylish. It's cool and all. Kena Bridge of Spirits, it's a beautiful, beautiful game with a nice Pixar type of animation art style and all. It's really great.
Yeah.
I mean, as we expected from Ember Lab, they were an animation studio before they made the game. And Rift Apart, it's Ratchet and Clank. It's like if the art direction's there, it is just there.
Yeah.
What do I think wins this, and what do I want to win this? Okay. This is me being very selfish. Okay. It's not Deathloop. I do not think Deathloop wins this. I do not think Ratchet and Clank wins this. Unfortunately, I don't. I think best art direction comes down to Kena, Artful Escape, and Psychonauts 2. Of those 3, I want Artful Escape to win. So I'm voting Artful Escape. And I think that Artful Escape wins.
Okay. I think that not Artful Escape. I want Kena to win. I think Psychonauts 2 does.
I can see Psychonauts 2 winning this as well. Like, I honestly think it's between Artful Escape and Psychonauts 2 to win this. That's genuinely what I think. Just because from what I've seen from both those games, they're just stunning with their art direction.
Yeah.
But Kena also did a fantastic job too.
We are going to move on to Best Narrative, which the nominations are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange 2 Colors, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2. I haven't played any of them. If I had to take a guess, I'd say, well, I want Psychonauts 2 to win, just because out of all of them, I think that it has the best art style. But
that's the story here we're talking about, not art style.
We were just talking about art style. In that case, I'll say True Colors is what I want to win. I think True Colors does.
Okay. This is a tough one. Deathloop should not win. It has a great story until it gets to the end. Then it kind of falls flat. Psychonauts 2, I have not played, and I don't remember really what the talk about the story was, like the quality of it.
Yeah.
So I can't really speak on that one. Guardians of the Galaxy, everything I have seen about that game has been people praising the ever-loving mess out of that game's story. It's saying it is one of the best stories of this year. Period. People saying it's one of the best stories of this year. The characters are so well written, and that I've seen some people say that this is like their definitive version of the Guardians. Like they like this version of the Guardians way more than the movie versions, which is very surprising. Like again, I always thought the game looked good, and then it came out, and everyone's like, "Whoa! Like this narrative, this story, it is so well done. It's amazing. It's a Game of the Year worthy." So I think Guardians has a very strong chance. Life is Strange: True Colors, I've already sung the virtues of that game. I think it also has a very good chance. Again, that just the characters that you meet, the relationships that you form, the bonds that you make throughout that story, everything is so well done. They're all so well written, so well performed, and the overall mystery, it's an intriguing one as you try and uncover the puzzle pieces behind like your brother's death and what really happened, why things went down the way they did. The backstory for Alex Chen as it gets like unveiled, and as the backstory for other characters gets unveiled and all, it's all done really well. And I absolutely loved that game's story, start to finish. I want Life is Strange to win. So I'm voting I want that to win. Do I think it will, though? It's a tough one because It Takes Two also came out this year. And It Takes Two got a lot of praise for its story and gameplay from the very beginning of this year. So that's why this is a very tricky case of best narrative, because I think it comes down to It Takes Two, Life is Strange, and Guardians of the Galaxy. It comes down to those three. And I think if one of them has to get dropped, I think it's Life is Strange, unfortunately. Just speaking from what I remember the reception about It Takes Two being, I remember people saying the story there was strong. So I think if one of those two has to get dropped, it's Life is Strange. Making it then between It Takes Two, the story of a couple that is about to get a divorce, and now they get turned into these dolls and they have to work together to come back to being actual humans and everything. Or Guardians of the Galaxy, which I don't necessarily know all the ins and outs of that story. But again, people have been praising the mess out of that story and the characters in it. So it's tough who I think wins this. It's a tough one. I'm going to say, in a surprising turn of events, I think Guardians of the Galaxy wins.
Okay.
And I think part of that is also the recency bias will boost that up a bit.
Yeah. Okay. The penultimate category we're going to talk about, Best Game Direction, which is nominations Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It really sucks that the last few categories I haven't really played anything of, so I don't have a strong opinion about any of them. If I had to take a guess, I will say I both want and think Psychonauts 2 will win.
Why is that? I mean, I know you just say you don't have too much to say, but it's like, why is it that you're thinking and wanting that one?
I remember see, but here's the thing: is like you also have Returnal and It Takes Two and Ratchet and Clank, and Deathloop. The reception to all of these games has been really good. Everyone has been praising all of them in terms of basically every aspect. So
read what it says for Best Game Direction, the description of it.
Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, Psychonauts 2, 100%. Like,
do you think it's Psychonauts 2?
Purely because I haven't played it, but I'm very confident in Tim Schafer and Double Fine being completely out there when it comes to story and design. I mean, if the art style is anything to go off of, then yeah, Psychonauts 2 is my choice.
Okay, read game direction one more time.
Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in the game industry in game direction and design. Still think my point stands.
I was asking you to read it more so for myself because I wanted to have it in my head.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the art style of the game is a point towards it getting game direction. But if you want to have Psychonauts 2, by all means go ahead. Sure. Especially because, again, as you said, you have not played any of these. So there's that. So if you want it to be Psychonauts 2, go ahead.
Sure.
Okay. What do I want to win? This is all right. Let me kind of scratch options out right now. It's not Ratchet and it's not Psychonauts. I don't want either of them to win, and I don't think either of them will win. I think it comes down to Deathloop, It Takes Two, and Returnal. Returnal and Deathloop are the only two I've played. Returnal is a absolutely amazing game. Really, really well done. I think that what will get this one knocked down for a lot of people is the fact that there was no way to like temporarily save your run until like earlier this month. And I know that was a big reason why a lot of people didn't play the game or like put it down and didn't come back to it until they added that. So I think that gets the game knocked down a lot. Now, I think this award goes to Deathloop because, again, everyone has praised this game up and down, left and right. And I understand why. I think it goes to Deathloop. And I don't know if I want it to go to Deathloop, but I'll explain why I think it goes to Deathloop right now. And that might sway my want. And it may also change your opinion on thinking what will win this. Because I'm telling you, I highly doubt Psychonauts 2 will win this at all. So the description, as you said, it's about innovation and game design, right? And stuff like that.
Creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
Okay. Deathloop, the game does this really interesting thing where, like I've told you before when I started playing the game, it is linear at the very beginning as it teaches you the things about the world in the game. There's a lot of systems there. There's the loop mechanic, how the loop works. There's the different regions of the game, like the different 4 areas in the world, and getting to each of them. There's the infusion mechanic, which allows you to infuse items or weapons to carry over between runs. There is the investigation mechanic and how finding out different pieces of information allows you to learn more about the world, learn more about your different leads, learn more about following these different leads. So you find out a piece of information in this world. I mean, not in this world. You find out a piece of information while you're tracking down one lead in this region that you can use at nighttime for another lead in a different region. It takes a bit to introduce all these things to you, and it slowly does it over the first couple hours of the game. That way you understand how the game works. Once it takes you through that very linear section, the game then becomes open in terms of, okay, you have all the tools. How you go about this is up to you. In terms of what weapons do you want to bring between runs? What leads do you want to tackle? How do you want to tackle them? Do you actually want to track down leads, or do you want to just get powers? Do you want to get weapons? Do you want to explore each of the maps? And it's linear while also being open-ended at the same time, because the game, like, say for example, okay, let me bring this back a bit actually, because I'm getting a bit like rambly off topic here. And I can see myself losing the train station. So like I said, the game, it becomes open-ended in terms of you track down what you want. Even though it's open-ended, it still stays linear in a way where, okay, I have 5, 6, 7 different leads, right? For tracking down the visionaries. And I have like 5, 6, 7 leads for tracking down weapons. Each of those leads has its own linear path to go through. So say, for example, I'm tracking down Charlie Montague, right? His lead, it's a linear path to go through. And if I want to only do his lead, I can just go straight through his lead. And then, all right, I've done his lead, go on to the next person's lead, then go on to the next person's lead if I want to. Even though you're doing one lead, though, you're getting information about other leads in the process. Mm-hmm. So it's linear. It's linear in the way where it's like, yes, if you want to just not be overwhelmed, just beeline one story, you can. But it also is open in the sense that you're finding out all this other information in a way that, like, it kind of feels natural because you're tracking down this one person, but while you're tracking down this one person, you're still exploring this region of the world. And while you're exploring this region, you're finding out all this other information you could use for other areas and stuff. And it's done in a really good way, in a really natural way, where the game is guiding you, but it doesn't feel like it's guiding you. It's still keeping you, it's keeping you on track without being like, hey, we're holding your hand. It's keeping you on track while giving you room to move around, in a sense. I guess a good way to like explain it is like, I guess you could look at it like a playground, in a sense, right?
Okay.
You go to a playground, you're in a contained area. This is the area you can play in. But if you want, you can go this way. You could go over to the jungle gym, you can go down the slide, you can go on the monkey bars, you can do all these things. But we're keeping you in this area. That way you're not getting too overwhelmed by the other part that's over there or this other thing that's over there. You kind of get what I mean? It's a kind of a poor analogy, but it kind of sort of works here in a sense.
Yeah, it almost sounds like a linear game disguised as an open world game.
Open world is not a word I would use with it because again, like there are different regions, but each region is its own contained section. So think of it like each section, I think you can look at it more so like Outer Worlds. Like that's not an open world game. Like technically each area, each planet is its own contained region that you can freely explore and stuff. It's like, so there's all that. And then when you bring in the powers and the different things you can do with the powers and how each of the different powers allows you to approach scenarios in different ways and all, same with your weapons and everything. It all comes together in a really, really smart and well done way, which is why I think it will win. And it's also kind of why I want it to win as well. Even though like I have issues with the way the game was designed and stuff. And like I said, I do think the game becomes very easy, very fast. And because of that, for me, it became boring or started to get boring, insanely pretty early on. I still acknowledge that the way that game was directed, everything is done with intent and with purpose. And all of those things come together to make a very cohesive whole in terms of what the overall game is and what your overall experience with the game is.
Okay. I will say I'm going to change my answer to the same as yours.
So what you think and want, or just what you think?
I think and want. Because the way you explained it, I know infinitely more about Deathloop than I do about Psychonauts 2. And well, I'm going to change my think to Deathloop. I think I'm going to leave my want as Psychonauts 2 because I still think that game has a very good shot of winning this category because, like I say, if I'll leave it at that. But Deathloop, I will change my think to Deathloop. You explained it very well.
Thank you. I'm very happy I did. I was worried I didn't. I do think it's a crime, though, as we'll get to in a moment, that Returnal was here, but not GOTY.
Speaking of GOTY, that is our final category. We are moving on to the Game of the Year nominations, which we briefly talked about. Actually, we talked about last week as one of our main news stories. But here we are going to predict who we think and want to win. Nominations are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. I will let you go first.
Resident Evil Village is the odd one out. I'm sorry. It's the ugly duckling here. Not saying it's a bad game, but it's just the ugly duckling. It's the odd one out. It should 100% be Returnal instead of Resident Evil Village. And I imagine Returnal's probably not here because of that save thing. Probably because of that. Either that or a lot of people which like thought the game was too hard, just like put it down and didn't come back to it till later on in the year. Although, as I said, I don't think the game's that hard. I finished that game in 3 runs, 10 out, just under 11 hours. It is a very challenging, it's a challenging game. I did not think it was as hard as many people made it out to be though. But it's not here nor there. Off my mini soapbox now. What do I think wins Game of the Year? I can tell you this, it's not Village. Sorry, Keiran, it's not gonna be Village. Which so that it's this for me, this is about whittling down the fat. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not Village. It's not Psychonauts. I do not think it's Psychonauts. The locks in for this category are 100% Deathloop, Metroid, and It Takes Two. Those are 100% locks. Rift Apart, I think, can go either way. But of the 4 remaining between, after we take out Village and Psychonauts, of the 4 remaining, I think Rift Apart gets the cut. as much as I enjoyed that game, the acclaim that behind it, I don't think was anywhere near as much as Metroid, It Takes Two, or Deathloop. And again, I think a lot of people will end up cutting it anyway because they'll say Rift Apart was a lot of fun. It was, it was a lot of fun. The story was great. It's also just kind of more Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, it gets the cut. And it pains my soul to say that. But I think that's why it gets the cut. Which leaves us with Metroid, It Takes Two, and Deathloop. Now, I think, personally, Deathloop wins this. Do I think it should? No. I don't think it's Game of the Year quality in my eyes, but I think it will. Now, and this is where it gets tough for me because I don't think Deathloop should, but of these three, it's like, which one do I want to win? Which one do I actually want to win the most of these three?
Yeah.
I would not vote Deathloop Game of the Year, but that's also the only one I've played of those three. Metroid and It Takes Two had a whole lot of great buzz behind them and stuff. Metroid brought 2D Metroids back and in a big way. It's the biggest Metroid sales wise in the franchise's history, if I'm correct, but I've been wrong on those numbers. But I'm pretty sure it's the biggest launch in Metroid history. Metroid would so deserve a win. It Takes Two. It's such a creative game from what I've seen, what I've heard. The story from what I've heard is also really good. So it'll be awesome to see Joseph Ferris get Game of the Year and come on stage and be like, yeah, fuck the Oscars. I got Game of the Year. Sorry, I know I said a thing just now, but I had to for the Joseph Ferris joke.
Yeah. He would say that.
Yes. Maybe would he say that on the main stage like that? Who knows? When he said it before, he was on the side with Jeff Keighley, announcing a game. So it's I also would want It Takes Two to win. Okay, hold on. I already said I think Deathloop wins this. That's what I said. I think it wins this. What do I really want to win from this list, though? It's not Resident Evil. It's not Psychonauts. And this is getting back to what I actually think my Game of the Year is. I would love Returnal to be on here. If Returnal was on here, I would vote for that. I promise you I would.
Okay.
But it's not here, which is a shame. It's a crime. So I guess I would have to go with Ratchet and Clank. I want Ratchet and Clank to win.
Okay.
Because again, I definitely don't think it will. I know it won't. I'll be shocked if it does. But of the ones I've played here, of the games here that I actually think would have a chance of actually winning, me wanting it to win, no shade of Resident Evil. I'm sorry, I just don't. You shouldn't be here. Psychonauts 2, haven't played you. I'm sure you're great, but no. It Takes Two, I would love for them to win. Metroid, I would love for them to win. Deathloop, you probably will win. I don't think you're GOTY worthy though. So for me, it comes down to Ratchet. From what's here.
Yeah. Well, my want to win is Village because it's the only one I've played. It's the only one I have an experience with. So my want to win is Village. I also think that's a really good game. But I do agree it does kind of stand out. I would have swapped. Although I haven't played it, from what you've told me about Returnal, I would have put it here instead of Village.
If Village could have been swapped with Returnal or Forza, and I would have been fine. Well, actually, okay, I probably would have been fine with that, but Returnal also deserves a GOTY nomination. It just does. It does.
I mean, I'm bummed Forza isn't here because that would 100% be my vote. But if If I had to pick one, I mean, like you say, because of the hype and the critical acclaim around Deathloop, I think that's going to win.
Mhm. I'm so positive it will.
Yeah.
Very positive it's going to win.
But we will have to wait until December 9th.
Yep, December 9th. Thursday, the day after Halo drops.
Yep. We'll have to wait until December 9th until we find out if any of our predictions are correct.
Well, at least for these nomination ones. We still
Yes.
got some other predictions.
Yes, we are going to move on to what we think will be announced at the Game Awards. Okay. So I believe we both have 10.
Yes, I have 10 written down in my phone. I don't know if we'll go through all 10 of ours, but
Probably.
we just got them as extras like as backups and stuff.
Yeah.
In case one of us like has the same thing as the other.
Yeah. So do you want to kick this off or do you want me to go?
You go first. What's your first one?
My first one is we see, so I don't even have anything specific. I just have something from Hellblade 2. Like,
okay, I have Hellblade 2 on my list as well.
Yeah. I'm leaning more towards just a story trailer than anything. I don't like, we're not seeing gameplay. It's just not going to happen. We're not going to get a gameplay demo. We might see a gameplay trailer, but I don't think so. I think we're just going to get a story trailer explaining what some of the story is in Hellblade 2. But I think that's probably the best case scenario.
Yeah. I just have here Hellblade 2 gets a new trailer and a release year. Because I remember earlier this year, right after E3 happened, there was a it was a GamesBeat article. I forgot who wrote it. But basically saying, hey, where were these games? Here's what's up with them. And Hellblade was on there saying that as of right now, it's kind of planned to release in 2023. Yeah. So we first saw it on the Game Awards stage in 2019. And then we found out, the game's like early in development. Turns out, I think that maybe we see it. I'm not betting all my chips on that, but I think there's a chance. Hellblade 2.
Hellblade.
The hall monitor is coming down for you.
I was going to say the exact same. I was going to be like, the hall monitor's gone wild.
So yeah, I just think we get a new trailer and a release year. I didn't specify what is in the new trailer. I just think it's a new trailer with the release year. Okay. Mine. All right, so let me put a check mark next to this actually. That way I know I did it already. All right, my next one. Okay, as you and I kind of talked about before, third parties, anything and everything could be here. So it's hard to guess with third parties what will show up at the Game Awards. But I have a couple third party guesses on here. And I'm going to, this is a prediction, not with like any information, or maybe some like information like to help inform this guest, but it's also more of a want than anything. Final Fantasy 16 gets a new trailer with a release window. It's not going to be a solid date, but they're going to give a window of sorts, I think. The window, of course, will say 2022. Will it say spring? Will it say summer? I don't know. But I think we're going to get I think we'll get more than just the year. I think we'll get like season and year. Like that. And this new trailer of Final Fantasy 16, of course, it'll be like, of course, story and gameplay in it. For this trailer. So I think, I hope we get it. Part of why I think there's a chance is because, they did say that we were going to get more information on the game this year.
Yeah.
The only reason that I think we might not is because the team that's working on it is also on 14. And Endwalker is coming out like within days of the Game Awards and stuff. So like that's going to be getting a lot of their attention. I wouldn't be surprised if they like don't show us anything 16 related right now. But they did say we get more information this year. Maybe we do.
I had Final Fantasy 16 gameplay trailer. So there's that. Okay. I'm going to throw one of my wild ones out there.
Okay.
Naughty Dog.
I have Naughty Dog here on my list. What about Naughty Dog?
Give a brief look at their Last of Us multiplayer project.
I have it gets revealed at last. You and I are two peas in a pod.
Yeah. We're 3 for 3.
three in a row.
Yeah.
In a row. It's not like it was like, oh yeah, here's 2 and then or here's 1 and then here's 1 we don't have. Nope. Okay.
Yeah. I mean it's been talked about for ages. Naughty Dog haven't shown anything in a while. I think Game Awards would be a good place to announce it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely do. That I like you said, it's been quite some time. It's been quite some time since we heard anything from them. We just know they've been working on a multiplayer thing.
Yep.
The Last of Us multiplayer was like separated from Last of Us 2 before the game even came out. So I like though that they're quiet because they're a team where like we'll talk when it's ready.
Exactly.
You'll see it when it's ready. So I mean, honestly, if we see it now, cool. If not, still cooking, I guess.
Yeah.
But I hope we see it now.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Other video game companies, take note, don't announce your game and then have it released 6 years later.
Right. Okay. Let's see if we go 4 for 4 on this. I will be safe just so we can get the 4 for 4 on this because I'm sure you have this on your list as well. Breath of the Wild sequel makes an appearance with a release date and new gameplay and story info.
Still 3 for 3.
You don't have that on your list? I thought you would.
On my list, no.
Oh man, come on! How could you,
Tyler?
not?
You ruined the streak.
How could you not? I mean, there's only 1, maybe 2 other things on here where we would have been able to go for this.
Yeah.
To go 4 for 4 and continue the streak. But yeah, I think we see it. Because I mean, earlier this year, it was during one of the early Nintendo Directs. AJ Newman, he was like, "Hey, you saw me. You thought you were gonna get more? No, but we'll have more later this year."
Yeah.
So I think it's possible. The Game Awards was also where we got I don't know if it was the final, but we got like a big story trailer for the first Breath of the Wild as well.
Okay.
So I think that like, hey, I'm pretty sure it was the Game Awards where it happened. If it was the Game Awards, it was like a Nintendo Direct, but I thought it was the Game Awards. So yeah, I think that this is when it happens. I mean, this is the last chance of the year for them to have information about the game this year. And we all know that Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft, they always bring something to the Game Awards.
Yeah.
And at least one thing. And I think this will be like that one thing from Nintendo, or at least that big thing from Nintendo where it's like, hey, here is more footage of it. We'll give you a release date. Surprise, surprise, it's coming in like April. It's not coming in February. It's not February. It's not the beginning of March. It's like April or something like that.
Yeah.
And we'll get more story info. I'm unsure if we get. You know what? No, if we're getting this trailer with the date, we're getting a name. What the name will be, I don't know. But the name will also be revealed too.
I am. This isn't a prediction I have on my list. Is to tag on yours. I'm gonna say Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Ganon's Resurrection. I don't know.
It's a long name. That's a long name.
I think this one is both safe and out there, but
okay,
I'm gonna say it anyway. We're gonna see Fortnite running on Unreal Engine 5. I think they will.
I'm sitting here. I was like, wait, it's not already? I forgot it's not.
No, they announced it either earlier this week or late last week. Unreal Engine 5 is currently in a state where games can be built on it. It has been for a while. I don't think it would take a colossal amount of work to upgrade Fortnite from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. And with Chapter 3 coming out relatively soon, I think now would be a good time to be like, hey, here's Fortnite running in Unreal Engine 5.
Okay. That's a nice prediction. That would be the big Fortnite thing to show this year at Game Awards, because they always have something to show at the Game Awards. And I was actually wondering what would be that thing that they had this year. Like, because last year was the Halo collaboration, like Master Chiefs and Halo. Before that, it was, we're going to have, or at least as far as I remember, it was like, We're gonna have footage from the Rise of Skywalker in it. Oh, we're gonna
think
have
so, yeah.
so like Fortnite always has something there.
Yeah.
And that could be it. That's a nice prediction. I like that one. Okay, back to me. This is, I guess you could say this is safe. We'll see. This is me definitely guessing that there's a chance it could happen, but there's also a chance it doesn't. Oh, actually, all right. Half of this is like not needed because we already have half of this. Redfall. We're seeing gameplay.
Okay.
I think we get a gameplay trailer. I also have here in a release window, but I forgot they already said summer 2022.
Yeah.
So that is a release window. But I think we get a gameplay trailer for it because again, the game is summer.
Yeah.
And that's not to say they have to do it now. There's plenty of time before summer 2022 where they could show like actual gameplay and everything. But I think we could see it. I think we could see it this at the Game Awards to be the biggest show, the best showing for it, a nice place for people to get all eyes on it.
Yeah.
I think I also put this in here because I was like, if Hellblade doesn't happen, then this can, or if this doesn't happen, Hellblade could. So yeah.
I have something similar in terms of like if Hellblade doesn't happen, I have a very brief story trailer for Starfield.
No. All right. You want it. Cool. Not happening. I'm telling you, it's not happening. No, that is not happening. We got our release date and teaser trailer at June. We're not seeing that game again until they give us a big blowout next year.
Okay.
I don't believe we're seeing anything more for that game at all.
I still think they might.
And wait, you said it's story teaser?
Yeah. What does
this consist? What does this consist of? Does this is this something like what they gave with like the 3 planets or like the 1 minute, like, oh yeah, this is this world with some concept art? Like, does that count as like a story trailer, or do you mean like cinematic story trailer in engine footage? Like, what do you mean by story trailer teaser?
I would mean, I think probably an in-engine trailer of like, the way I picture it in my head is like the game is going to have like some sort of end goal, whether it be defeat a villain, find this planet, save this person, whatever. It might just be like a 20-30 second trailer. And in my head, I picture it, the first like 15 seconds would be just a black screen with voiceover of somebody speaking, whether that be the villain explaining some of their goal or the person like that you're trying to say, or like a loved one you're trying to save, talking to you. And then it would cut to like walking on a planet, or a shot of like walking on a planet looking at the villain, or I don't know. I think we're going to get a very, very, very brief story teaser for Starfield. Or I want that, I'll say.
You want it. It's not happening. Sorry. I don't mean to shoot your dreams down. Don't let your dreams be dreams, but this one is going to be a dream.
For now.
Okay. Okay, since we're getting out there and doing wild ones that most likely are not happening. We're gonna bring it back again. Once more, we do this. Silent Hill.
Okay.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah. I think it's a thing. I think Silent Hill shows up in some capacity. Who knows? Whether it be a teaser or I don't know. I think Silent Hill is a thing. I think it's happening.
I really want whoever's developing it to come out on stage, the image of the logo just be on the screen and be like, yes, we're making it, leave us alone, and just walk off again.
Turns out it's abandoned.
Okay. This was hinted at earlier this year. It's still kind of out there though. But we have word that Rockstar is working on Red Dead Redemption Remastered.
Oh yeah, I think I did hear about that. You think we see it?
I think so. I think we see it. I think we also get a release date for it, because I don't see why you would announce it without giving a release date. But I do think that it shows up.
I don't think we see it until after GTA 5 comes out. GTA 5 remastered.
Oh yeah,
the next gen version. That still has to come out in March. And it was supposed to come out in November of this year. Remember?
Yeah.
I don't think we see anything for Red Dead Remastered until after GTA 5's next gen version comes out, especially in light of the GTA 3 trilogy that just came out and the reception to that. I don't think we see it.
Okay.
I think, and especially if they, with how Rockstar works and the fact that the GTA 1 still isn't out yet, I don't think they'd be happy. I don't think they'd be keen to show Red Dead and put a date on it, given that GTA 5 had a date and got delayed past that date.
Yeah, and going off that, I also don't think you announce this without a release date.
Yeah. I mean, like, makes sense. Although they could say like,
yeah,
hey, it's coming a couple months, or it's coming in this window, like they did with the GTA 5 one originally. They said it's coming next year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a wild. That's okay. Interesting one. I forgot to put a check mark next to Silent Hill. Also, I just want to add on to the Silent Hill thing. We did hear like early this year that there were two different developers working on Silent Hill games. One of them being a Japanese one. It was supposed to be announced in the summertime. That didn't happen. So possibly now.
From Software Silent Hill game.
Yo, do you know how the internet would explode from Software's character design making a Silent Hill game?
Yeah.
Dear Lord, that would be the most terrifying thing.
Yeah.
Like, imagine the Bloodborne aesthetic for Silent Hill. Oh my God.
I may actually play that.
That would be terrifying. Okay. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 more in here. Okay. And then I guess one that kind of adds on to a previous something we mentioned earlier in the episode. I think though that now this next one goes off something Jeff Keighley tweeted. If not today, it was like yesterday. It was sometime recently. He tweeted out that one of the announcements at the Game Awards, he just saw the final cut of it, right? Just saw the final cut of it. It's a world premiere. And he said he's been working with the team for the past 2.5 years to announce this. And he's very honored to be able to show it to us. Now, it could be Breath of the Wild 2. I doubt that though, because I just don't think it'd be that. But it's possible. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be Silent Hill. That's been a thing that's been cooking around for a while. Rumors about that. It could be Silent Hill. I think though that given timelines that we've heard about and everything, I wonder if you have this on your list now, because the way you're looking at me, I wonder if you're thinking what I'm thinking. I think the next BioShock is officially revealed.
I didn't have that on my list, but I am with you on that one.
We've heard about the next BioShock. We know that it's in development. I think at first, the team either first came about in 2019. Or I think it might have been when we first heard that it was happening. So that's some time.
Yeah.
That is some time for Jeff Keighley to form a relationship, be like, hey, let's make this thing happen. Let's get something going on right now. It's possible.
There was also part of the GeForce leak, BioShock 2022.
I forgot about that.
Which, again, I don't think is going to happen. I don't think it releases next year. But
that'd be really ambitious.
Yeah, but would maybe put some merit to that prediction. I'm with you on that one. I didn't have it on my list, but I wish I did, because I am with you on that one.
BioShock, let's call it 4. BioShock 4.
Okay. There's one of these that I kind of want to take out, because the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I just don't think this is going to happen. And
all right, so you could say it, but we just won't count it as an official prediction then, if you don't want it to be an official one.
Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope gameplay is what I had for Nintendo bringing, but I don't think
there's a chance.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance of it, but you don't have to have it as an official one.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands gameplay.
I thought about that and I was like, that's too safe. I'm not going to do it. But sure,
Yeah,
I can see it happening.
I we've seen some gameplay for it already, but not a whole lot. So I think we're gonna get a maybe like we'll say maybe 4 or 5 minute demo of it.
God damn, that'd be lengthy for the Game Awards. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, we'll
but
say
no,
why not?
I think we see it though.
Yeah.
That's a safe bet. Okay. I'm going to say that. Okay, you want a fun one? You want a fun one here?
Yeah.
Let's get a fun one. I put this down and I was like, or do I want to say this instead? Or do I want to say this instead?
Mm-hmm.
I thought about 3 things from this one. This one I'm going to say is my prediction, but then I'll add on the other 2 as like, this is what I thought of just in case. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 won't be official predictions. They'll be thoughts I had.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat 12 is announced.
Okay.
Now, the reason I thought about that, because Mortal Kombat 11 was first announced at the Game Awards. It was either 10 or 11. One of them was announced at the Game Awards. So there was that. And initially I thought about, what if we get the announcement of the Marvel fighting game that NetherRealm was rumored to be working on?
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, possibly, maybe, but I don't know if that's actually a thing. Who knows? Although that would fulfill the quota of there being a Marvel thing in the show in some capacity.
Yeah.
So there's that. But then I thought, what about Street Fighter 6? What if Street Fighter 6 gets announced? Because I think they just either something with the most recent character was like kind of talked about recently. They're like, yeah, this next character is going to be a big part, like be important in like the next Street Fighter game.
Okay.
But I thought I took out Street Fighter 6 because if I'm right, Street Fighter games tend to be like announced during Evo or like Street Fighter Championship Cups and stuff like that. So I don't think that would be announced. I don't think that would be announced during the Game Awards. Yeah. But if that game's been in development for a bit, that could work with Jeff Keighley saying, thanks for this team for giving me the honor of announcing this game for the past 2.5 years. It could.
Mm-hmm.
So Street Fighter 6 could be a year. But I'm going to place my bet on Mortal Kombat 12.
Okay. Question: why no mention of Injustice 3?
Because if I'm right, the rumor is that NetherRealm's not making Injustice 3 right now because of everything going on in WB Games.
Okay, fair enough.
And they didn't want to start making it, and then like rights situations get tangled up with them and stuff. So that's why they aren't doing that. It's Mortal Kombat 12 is the rumor for the next game that they're making.
Okay. The next, the second to last prediction I have is really, really, really vague. Okay. Because I don't know what it could be. I just have something Xbox related, and I don't mean games, I mean hardware.
Oh, okay.
Or so I'll say hardware or services.
Huh.
So it could be the announcement of the xCloud app coming to TVs, the announcement of these games coming to Game Pass, the announcement of X, Y, and Z. I don't know what it could be.
The announcement of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
This is our new gaming device.
Yeah. Xbox Series Z.
I mean, honestly, though, like that'd be funny if it was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, going off what you said, what if they announce, hey, here's our streaming stick thing. Pop it in your TV, bam, there you go. It's coming out next year. More information online, xboxwire.com.
Yeah. Or they could even say like more information coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that's possible.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
possible.
Because
they announced the Series X there.
Yeah. And also a streaming stick wouldn't really be that hard to engineer, so it wouldn't have that big of a turnaround.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? Okay, I like that thought. All right, another safe one here that can happen. I think we get a new look at Horizon, new gameplay, new story trailer. We haven't seen anything for it gameplay wise since, when was it? This summer?
Since PlayStation Showcase.
Yeah, it's been a while since we saw anything new for it. And recently the team, they've been, posting stuff over on the PlayStation blog for the past couple weeks. So I think we see new gameplay, new story trailer, get people excited for it. The game comes out in February. So, it's right before it. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a whole new, another state of play dedicated to it, like in January or something. But I think we get like a new look at the game in at Game Boards.
Yeah, I actually pre-ordered the collector's edition of Forbidden West.
Okay, pre-ordered it for when you get your.
Yep, because
he is confident it's happening before that game comes out.
It will happen before February. I swear to God.
Come hell or high water.
Exactly. Okay, my last one, and I mentioned this to you before the show, is in all capital letters on my phone.
Okay.
And it's please, Jeff, please, Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oh,
please.
What if that's the past 2.5 year game?
It was revealed in 2019.
But here's the thing: world premiere doesn't mean new announcement.
Yeah, exactly.
World premiere is just this is the first time this is the first time that what I'm about to show you is being seen.
Yeah. And 2019.
For Silksong, right?
Yeah.
It could be.
Please.
It has people have been wondering, hey, why isn't it at any of these Nintendo Directs? What's going on? It could be.
Jeff, I promise that you, if you show, you could just flash Hornet's face on the screen and I would lose my word I can't say. Like, I'm begging you, Jeff, please have gotten Hollow Knight Silksong, please.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I didn't even think of that. That certainly fits his 2.5 year tweet right there.
I want it more than any game announcement ever. I want Hollow Knight Silksong.
For your sake and all the Hollow Knight fans' sakes, I actually hope that's true. I hope that happens.
I will cry, Jeff. Just make it happen.
Okay. There we I like that. I like that bet right there. My last one, nothing too wild. Kind of goes along with rumors that we heard earlier this year. Dead Space, we get some new footage of it. Because we heard earlier this year, after the game was first announced, that the team was planning or trying to show off new footage by the end of this year. Not from them, but we heard there's some like insiders and stuff.
Yeah.
Again, perfect time. This is the stage to do it. Show it off. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen though, because again, when we even when they showed footage after the first teaser, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna show you guys some like super early gameplay, like super early as in gray box room gameplay, like so you guys can see like we are working on this really early." I because of that, I can see it not showing up, but I think there's a chance. So that's my final official one. I just want to add the last one that I'll throw in here. It does have to be official or it can be, whatever. Going off what we mentioned earlier, I think the Chrono Cross remake, if it's real, gets announced here.
Okay.
Because again, it said the announcement's coming before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Big holiday, big winter announcement. I think that will be it. I think that's it. Rocks the show, gets everyone going crazy.
Do you want me to write it down?
Sure, you can write it down. And you know something else I saw earlier today or yesterday? It was that the BioShock, the new one, it's going to be PlayStation exclusive, or at least I don't know if like permanent exclusive or like time exclusive. I saw that, I was like, someone tweeted it. I don't know if they tweeted it as like a joke or something. But then I was like, wait, I feel like I actually read something legitimate behind that. That like, oh wait, that actually is the rumor. If so, that is surprising, and that could be just wow, big.
If so, I will lose my shit.
Oh, you did. So you couldn't do it for Silk Song, but you do it for Bioshock.
If the new BioShock is PlayStation exclusive, I will riot.
I am sorry. And it's funny because when I saw the tweet earlier today, someone was like, "Oh yeah, like a formerly Xbox exclusive franchise going to PlayStation because of money." I was like, I mean, Bioshock was only exclusive for one game. Let's not say it was an exclusive franchise now. Like, let's pump the brakes there for a second.
Yeah. No, I will. I mean, by that point, I would hope I would have a PS5, so it won't really matter. But at the same time,
it won't really matter for you, but for everyone else, that's
exactly. No.
Yeah.
This is me, Keiran Grant, having no sway on the video game industry whatsoever, putting my foot down. No.
No, don't do that. But give him Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Exactly. Hollow Knight, so also putting my foot down on that, Jeff. Okay.
Alrighty.
That will conclude our Game Awards talk. We have some nice predictions here. I'll take a screenshot when we're finished, and we'll see how many we got right. What are we saying? $10 for each right prediction?
I'm not putting money on this. Not at all.
But that will conclude our Game Awards predictions for now. Until next year. Okay, we are going to move on to what we've been playing. I'll go first just because I have only been playing one thing, which is Halo Infinite. I've played like an hour, maybe an hour and a half at most, because I have been just infinitely busy this week. I think I played it on like Tuesday, maybe. I can't remember, but I do have the samurai armor. I managed to get that in the hour I played. I have no idea how. But
I didn't get it yet.
I do infinitely like the way they do the event kind of pass more than the regular one, because it's just complete one challenge. You go up one level.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't like that the event challenges are like also behind the weekly challenges. So you have to complete weekly challenges to get to the event challenges. That's annoying still.
Yeah.
I did my whole video kind of on the situation. It sucks.
Yeah. And I also don't like how the event battle pass will say is extremely padded with useless stuff. And it's extremely padded with XP bonuses and challenge swaps. And
not even just that, but also like the emblem. It's like you get the emblem, but then it's like you get the emblem for this shoulder, and then this shoulder, and then your car, and then your chest.
Yeah.
It's like there's only like 3 or 4 things of actual like note in the entire event pass.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good. Like I have one challenge left for it, and it is play 6 matches of Fiesta. I can't do it though, because I have to do at least one of my weekly challenges to get to it.
Yeah. I will say Fiesta in the current like roster of Halo Infinite modes is my favorite. I love Fiesta so much. It's just Slayer and you spawn in with random weapons. It's so much fun.
I like Fiesta. It's also very annoying how it is very common to like get spawned in with 2 bad weapons.
Oh, tell me.
I'm just like, why am I spawned with the Ravager and like the shock rifle? Why am I spawned in with the Ravager and the pulse carbine? Like, why am I spawned in with the Ravager, period? Don't give me the Ravager. The Ravager sucks. Yeah. Fiesta is fun. It's also very annoying though. To say the least.
Where's my tweet gone?
I don't know.
I didn't tweet it from the Play to Win account accidentally, did I?
Don't think so. While he looks for that though, I will say yes, I've done some Halo Infinite this week as well. Continuing to play it every now and then. Kind of put it on pause a bit just because I was like, I'm kind of like, I need a bit of a break from Halo Infinite for just a tiny bit. But I mean, the multiplayer is still fun. I'm just like the challenge system. The challenges are like, I'm just like, man, this is not good. This is not good at all, man. I desperately really hope they fix the way that they do battle pass progression and event progression, because man, like just having to get through these challenges in order to progress at all, it sucks.
Yeah, no, the battle pass still needs work. I can't find I must have either deleted it or I didn't tweet it, but I remember typing out a tweet atting Halo saying that they really need to look at the balancing issue between teams in Fiesta, because there was one game where the enemy team, and 100% serious, spawned in with, or at least throughout the time I played, I left the game earlier because I was so frustrated with it. But they spawned a wasp, a banshee, a scorpion, a wraith, a ghost, and a chopper. And my team got 2 warthogs. Sorry.
Wait, what mode were you playing, Fiesta?
Yeah.
On what map?
On launch site.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And my
so
team,
like, where are these vehicles coming from? That sucks.
My team got 2 mongooses, not warthogs, sorry. 1 ghost and a warthog without a turret.
Oh, so that was the Razorback.
Yeah.
Have fun.
I left the game early because they had like a 30 kill lead, and I'm like, I'm not staying in this game and taking the loss just because you are spawning the enemy team in with so much like more better equipment than we have.
Yeah, that's bad. That's annoying. I'm sorry about that. But yeah. Well, just wrap up the Halo Infinite conversation. I will be reviewing Halo Infinite for us. Keiran was going to, but again, like he said, he's been super busy, and the time just was not going to be there for him to review Halo Infinite. So I'm going to be reviewing Halo Infinite. My goal is to have it out by one of 3 days, either by the 17th of December. I'm about to say November, by December 17th. That way it will be out the day before we record our Halo Infinite dedicated episode of the podcast.
Yep.
Either then I aim for it to either be out. If not, then the following Monday, the same day that the Halo episode would go live. That way it could go out that same day. And if not, then I am hoping I can have the review done by the 23rd of December. By the 23rd, that way it could be out in time for Christmas and everyone can be happy that they got the Halo review as a Christmas gift from me. That is the plan. It'll be out sometime then, hopefully within like 2 weeks of Halo coming out. That is my absolute plan.
I have a small update in terms of my Far Cry review. I now expect that to be out probably a couple weeks into December at the earliest.
Yeah. Life gets ahead of you.
Yeah, which like I would have loved to have gotten out before now, but unfortunately work and school have to come first.
Yeah, they do. Nothing wrong with that at all. But aside from Halo, I played a bit of Forza this week. Forza's Forza, driving, vibing, enjoying music and stuff. So that, and also went back into Final Fantasy 13 this week to try and get through that, try and finish it. I am 35, 36, 37 hours in, something like that, one of those numbers. Whereas I was previously like 24 hours in. I made a significant dent in that game. Let me tell you this. Like I said before, there was like a section of the game where a story started to make sense, and the story has gone back into nonsensical territory where I'm just along for the ride at this point. Whatever happens. Yeah. If I follow things, I follow it. If I don't, I don't. I am on chapter 12. I am on Eden, and I hated the Barthandelus boss fight that you do when you are leaving Pulse. That boss fight is terrible. I hated it with a passion. I turned the game off like 3 times last night because of that fight. Ate dinner, came back, looked up strategies and everything, tried different strategies, didn't happen. Finally saw one and made it work. First try, bam, he's done. Fantastic. I am now up to this part where I had to fight an Adamankide, I believe is how it's pronounced. And I stopped there because that enemy is just terrible. He's annoying to fight. It's a giant beast that stomps the ground, and every stomp does like a lot of damage to you. So trying to survive that and get buffs on everyone and then kill it, it's a pain. It's not the easiest thing. Tried it a couple times. I said, nope. This is not going to be my night. And I put it on, I just stopped. I will try again tonight. Well, maybe after we record, I'll try again a couple times. And if it's not happening, guess what? 13 is going to be put on hold, and I'm going to start playing another game. Maybe Unpacking, maybe Scarlet Nexus, maybe Demon Souls. Something will get played that is not Final Fantasy 13. But that's where I am in terms of what I've been playing lately.
And that will conclude episode 35 of the Play to Win podcast. If you made it this far, thank you very much for sticking with us. Couple last things. You can find all of our content as well as our review policy, little info about us, all that kind of stuff on playtowingames.wordpress.com. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at playtowingame, where you'll get updates on the show, random stuff that we post, everything in that vein. You can subscribe to us if you're watching the podcast here on YouTube, and take the notification bell so you know when new videos go live. Subsequently, you can also subscribe and follow and like and share and all that stuff on podcast services as well. Tyler, where can people find you?
Tyler Miller 2496 over on Twitter. Follow me over there. Chat with me over there. Yeah, do all those things, please and thank you. You guys are great people.
Exactly. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Badlynet, BADLYNET, all one word. That's really all I have to say. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you all next week.
Have a great one.